Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. My name is Cheri Hardman, and I'll be your ex-ho for today. Today's subject is BBW admirers, and I have two, count them, two. First of all, we have my friend Daron James, and second of all, we have my friend Steve O'Mara. So sit back, enjoy, and remember the old saying, always bridesmaid when you're a hoe. Welcome to Diary of an Ex-Ho. I'm Cheri Hardman, your ex-ho, and this is my friend Daron. Hey, Daron.
Hey, Cheri.
How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I was trying to figure out how long we've known each other, and it's got to be probably closing in on 20, 15 to
Yeah,
20, somewhere around in there. Yeah, it's been a while.
yeah.
So, I asked you to be on this show because I was looking for a BBW admirer, however I don't know how do you address, I mean, do you call yourself anything? Do you say you're a BBW admirer? What do you say you are?
Well, I don't label I am a BBW admirer, but I don't label myself that.
Okay, so you don't have like a name for it that you like tell people?
Nah, I just like the women that I like.
Right. Okay. So I had a guy lined up, but then it turned out he was on the down low. He had a
Wow.
partner and everything. That happens a lot, I think, in the BBW community, but probably happens in the regular community too. Um, so yeah, so way back in the day, they used to call them chubby chasers, you know. But
I heard the term BHM before, big handsome man.
what?
Whatever. I heard the term BHM before, like big handsome man. But I guess that's for the women though.
Right. Yeah. Now I was trying to, like, you and I met, I think, on a dating site. It was a BBW dating site. I don't know if you remember how we met and stuff. And first, we just went out for a movie. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. It looks like your picture's frozen. Then,
You do?
then we went to a BBW dance. I remember you
Yeah.
said you'd never been to one, so I took you to your first BBW dance. And what did you think of that?
Yeah. Uh, I liked it. I mean, it was different, but I liked it.
It was fun back in the
That
day.
here it is in 2023. I'm still a part of that.
Well, you make those lifelong connections. People become your friends. It becomes your community. Now, do you date like skinny women or like normal sized women too?
Yeah, I'm open to dating petite women or thick, whatever you want to call them. I'm open to that.
Mm-hmm.
My preference is I like plus size women.
Mm-hmm. Do you think there's a reason for that? You think that's just what you like? Or is there
I
something?
think it, I
Wait,
think it's just what I like.
is your mom a big
Women
woman?
since I was since uh she not really, but she I mean she is we consider her plus size, but she grew up as a petite woman, but she got older, she gained some weight
Yeah.
and had kids and stuff.
Right. What's going on in the BBW community? Do they still have like club nights and stuff like that?
Well, as I was the host out here in the Northwest, I don't host them anymore. I quit like last Feb not this February this past, but February like 2022.
Uh-huh.
And ever since then, nobody has drawn any events or anything. But I guess me and you both have a friend named Luke. He throws his barbecue parties in the summertime.
Right.
That's about it. But also, they still got plus size events across America where other people outside of the Northwest, they got they bashes whatever that's going
Right.
on.
I know there's the one in Vegas. That's like
Yeah, they
a
have
lot.
one. They have one everywhere now.
Really? Do you go to
It
those?
has grown. Yep, I got a couple. I'm going to at the end of the summer. I'm going to Atlanta Bash and it's a bash in San Antonio.
Oh, I knew Atlanta was big for that kind of stuff, but I didn't know San Antonio was.
Yeah, San Antonio. I've been to a couple of their bashes. I like them. They like pretty much my favorite one. And I've been I've been going to them for the past couple of years, and they got like a little smaller group compared to the other bashes, but it's still a lot of people there.
Huh. Um, why do you like it more? Do you think the people are different or just that particular group of people or what?
Well, the host, her name is Erica, and me and her get along really good, and I like the Texas crowd out there. I get along with those people. They make you feel welcoming, and I just click well with them in
Right,
comparisons to other bashes.
right. All right, you want to get up close and
Yeah,
personal a little bit?
yeah. Go ahead.
All right. So, um, who was your first like celebrity crush?
Diana Ross.
Oh, Diana Ross was amazing. I'm sure she still is, but back in the day when she was like the queen diva, yeah. Um,
I was real young too, though.
really. Well, yeah,
But I remember, huh?
you had to have been because you're a lot younger than I am.
Yeah, I remember I was a little kid, and I don't know, I was a young kid, so I was just like glamorous. I seen her as all the glamour, and I just like Diana Ross. My mom used to tease me about it a lot.
That's cute though.
But
Um,
but 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 as I got older, I would say Anna Nicole Smith.
wasn't she like the most beautiful woman?
Man, she was gorgeous.
She really was. It's real. That's really a sad story about her.
Yeah,
Yeah. Did you like her before and after she gained the weight? Both?
I like both. I liked her both ways.
And she was beautiful either way.
Yeah.
Um, any other like celebrity BBWs that are or plus size type women that you liked?
Yeah, I like Lisa Nicole Carson when she was like on the heavier side. I like Kelly Price. I love Jill Scott. That's my celebrity crush right now, Jill Scott.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I want to marry her.
Well, you better get your plan made. All
Yeah, I
right. So,
like Jill.
what's your definition of amazing sex?
Amazing sex. Uh, the definition would be that both parties have a well connection, and both parties is willing to please each other and pleasure each other.
That sounds that sounds about right. You know, I'm going to tell a story now. I know I've told you this story before, but I haven't told the story on camera about the last time that you and I, it's not like you and I were a thing. We just dated a couple times, you know. But there was one night when I spent the night at your house, it was after a dance, and I drank a lot. So that's why I was staying there because I couldn't drive. And you had a friend staying with you and she had a little kid. You know the story.
Yeah,
You know where I'm going with this story?
I know where you're going.
Yeah. And so your bedroom had a bathroom in it. That's where the bathroom was. You had to come in to the bedroom to go to the bathroom. And I woke up in the morning and I thought, oh God, my stomach, like I'm gonna have to poop. And I didn't want to poop in your bathroom because I didn't want you to smell it. So
Yeah.
so I'm like, I'm gonna leave and I'm just gonna go call a cab and just go get my car and go home. And so I went outside, because it was early and I like called from outside. And then I kept waiting and waiting, and no cab was coming. Well, then I didn't want to. Then I thought, well, should I go back up to his place? But I knew that your friend and her little kid were sleeping there. And I didn't want to wake them up. So I waited for a while. And then I thought, well, I'm going to go find a bus stop because I knew where I used to live in that neighborhood. So I'm like, I'm going to go find a bus stop so that I can just take a bus to where my car is or wherever. And the whole time I'm like holding in a diarrhea, like I'm holding it in like bad. And so then the bus came, and then the bus took me to downtown Auburn, like at the train station there or whatever, and they had some porta potties, thank God. But they didn't have, there was no lock on the door. I didn't even care. I just went in there. I was like, oh, whatever. Leave. And then I ended up calling. I took a bus home, and then somebody took me to my car. I don't remember, but I always think about that. Like that was an awkward moment. It was like a long time after that before I even told you about that, but I just thought that was funny story. So, um,
Yeah. I woke up. I was like, "Where'd she go?"
I know it's not like I don't know. I don't know why I was so uptight about it, but it was just like, you don't want people smelling your shit. Um, when you this is a big switch, but when you look at porn, what category do you look at?
I look at you know what? I'm mostly like I'm into like I follow porn stars and I match porn stars together.
Ah,
That's what I like doing.
I've never heard anybody say that before. That's interesting.
Yeah, I like to see this porn star go at it with this porn star. That's what I do.
Okay, well, interesting. Um, were your parents like married? Did they like stay married? Were like when you were a kid in your life?
Well, they were married until I was like 10 years old. We moved out of our dad's house and got our own place somewhere else. And I remember my mom at the time just told us that we were like this, we're just moving out and he was going to come later on. We
Uh-huh.
never did. So, but I guess she didn't want to break our hearts as a kid that he wasn't coming, but he never came. Later on, like she just told us that they got a divorce.
Uh, when they were getting along and you were younger, do you remember like were they affectionate with each other? Or do you remember?
Uh, I don't think they really was. I can probably remember them like cuddling or whatever, but I don't remember them kissing and stuff like that.
Interesting. Okay, so the other thing I was curious about is like, do you ever have people like try to talk you out of liking plus size women or like make fun of you or anything like that?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Even right now, people try it, whatever. Like people online, whatever. But I'm a grown man. I don't let that affect me.
Right, right.
I, I just wondering like why do you worry about what I like? I'm not
Right.
worrying about what they like. So
Is it usually dudes or women that do
It's,
that?
it's, it's other dudes. It's other dudes. That's what's the funny thing about it.
Yeah, dudes are weird. Like,
Like, why?
yeah, I don't get that kind of stuff at all. It doesn't make sense. Do you remember ever watching like a mainstream movie, not like a porn, but like a regular movie, and there being like a love scene in it that you found really erotic?
Say it again.
Like a regular movie, not a porn, but just like a regular movie. Do you remember ever watching a movie and then there was like a love scene in it, and then you thought, "Ooh, that's really erotic." Like, can you think of one?
Yes, yes. Uh, those used to be my first porn movies like that or scenes like that.
Okay,
When I
like
was too
what?
young to watch porn,
Yeah, right.
like can't I tell you a scene that I thought was hot. It was I think his name was Michael. His name Michael Dalton. What's the guy name that had that psycho lady going after him?
Oh, are you talking
Douglas, Michael
Michael
Douglas.
Douglas and yeah, the one with the rabbit?
Yeah, that crazy woman that was after him. That I think it was the
Fatal
elevator
Attraction.
scene. I thought that was hot. Huh?
Fatal Attraction, was that what it?
Yeah, Fatal Attraction. I thought that elevator scene was hot.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was. That was a
Yeah,
good movie back in the day, I thought.
yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was good too.
How important is sex to you? Like on a scale of 1 to 10?
It's a scale of 1 to 10.
Yeah.
I say like a 10. I say like a
Yeah.
9 or 10.
Yeah. Do you have a sexual bucket list item?
Nah, I I think I've done all that already.
Everything that you
So
wanted to
yeah, except for Jill Scott. Nah.
do? Well, all right. I don't know if there's anything else I wanted to ask you about. Do you like dirty talk? Yes or no?
Not really. I'm kind of shy to be honest, but so I just feel kind of awkward when I'm doing that.
Yeah. Oh, I'm afraid that if I say, okay, we're done, that I'm going to think of something else that I wanted to ask you. All right. So, have you ever had to poop at someone's house after you had sex with them?
Yeah, yes,
Did you just go in and go like a normal person?
yeah, I did. Well, it depends. It depends on how well I knew the person. Like,
Right.
it's probably been times I held it in, but there was times that I know the person well enough that I feel like I can go.
All right. There's just more proof that I am not a normal person. I had to escape. All right.
That's normal for women, though. A lot of women don't like doing that.
Yeah. Well, if it was now, like I probably wouldn't care about that much. That stuff as much as I would have when I was younger. But of course, I'm married, so what do I know?
Yeah.
I don't even remember what it's like to be single and having to care about whether someone smells my poop or not. I don't know how this turned into that, but leave it to me. All right. Um, I guess that's all I had for you. I just kind of wanted your no wait, how about this? Let's end it with this. What is it that you like about plus size women?
Uh, I don't know. I just attracted to them. I just like their curves. You know, I'm a boo man. I like butts as well. So most plus size women got both. So
There you go. Boom, boom.
yeah,
All right. Um, I've heard guys say that plus size women are nicer. Do you think that's true or not?
I think it's. I don't. I don't think it's true. I think it just it depends on the woman because I have encountered with mean plus size women as well as mean petite women. So I don't think it really matter on the size of the woman.
Right. Yeah, that's what I think too. Do you have anything like that I mean, I know usually I talk to comedians and stuff. Do you have anything that you want to promote? Do you have anything like, I don't know, anything that you do that you want people to know about?
Well,
No.
I I'm gonna probably start a YouTube channel up, just talking about my viewpoint and everything, like things that I'm into, like sports and whatever, like sports, maybe like race or just incidents that's happening around the world. This is my viewpoint I like to share.
I know you have very strong viewpoints. I've seen you talk about a lot of arguments that you get in with people online.
Yeah, especially sports.
Sports, yeah. Um, well, so how can they find you?
Well, you can find me at on Instagram, Daron the King James. You can find me on YouTube at this is uh this is King TV, and then you can find me on Facebook at Daron the King James.
All right. All right. Well, it was good talking to you. Thank you for being on my little show.
Thanks for having me. It was my pleasure.
All right. So this is my friend Steve O'Meara. How are you today?
I'm doing great, Cheri. How are you doing today?
Good. Trying to figure out how long we've known each other, maybe
Since
somewhere.
2010. So it's
Oh,
12 years.
oh, okay. Um, so we met at BBW dance. Is
Yes. It
that
was
correct?
my very first one, yeah.
Your very first one. Okay. And so I know some of these questions about you, I already know the answers to, but um, was that so that was the first BBW event period that you had been to?
Period. I never even knew that it ever existed.
Okay. But you knew Big Women existed.
Oh yeah, I was an admirer for years. Well, I still am, but
Okay.
I was always one of those kind of guys that in the grocery store, I'd see a big, beautiful woman and just gawk and stare and try not to be too obnoxious, but just secretly admire, if you would.
Okay. And so were you before had you been married before
Yep, still
prior to
married. Yep,
that? I
yep,
mean prior to that. I mean to anyone else.
yeah. I was married to a big, beautiful woman,
Okay.
and then I was just going through a divorce. So
Okay, gotcha. I was just gonna ask, was she a BBW or was she uh
yeah, yeah.
smaller
Like I
size? I
said,
don't
it seems like that's always been my preference. I've always kind of been gravitated towards the big beautiful woman.
even when you were like a kid and you first started discovering females, or did
Actually, I was real shy, so I think it was the big girls liked me because I was cute. I
uh-huh.
didn't think I was cute, but I mean, in third grade there was this girl, and she was chunky, and she had like come over, hit me in the arm, and wrote a whole bunch of letters and put them in my desk and that kind of stuff. And
Hmm.
but I was so shy. I didn't even have a girlfriend until 17.
Oh,
So I
oh,
was just girls. I was afraid of them. I was shy. So
What was your mom a big woman?
nope, 5'1" and maybe 100 pounds soaking wet.
Really? That's
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Um, did your were your parents like affectionate with each other? Like, did you have that modeled for you, or no?
Yeah, yeah. I think my mom and dad always kind of had hugged, and we come from a hugging family. So I mean, I've got lots of siblings,
Oh,
lots,
yeah.
lots
Like,
of.
how many
So
siblings?
there's 13 of us total.
Oh, that's hot. um, okay, so then here's the question. So, uh, you met your wife Andrea at one of these dances,
Actually, I
right?
met her online on a
Oh,
BBW website, and
got it.
and it just one of those kind of things I was filtering through, and I, was picking sweet faces ones, and I just gave her a wink, and she winked back, and then we started talking. And after a few months of talking, I met her. I flew her down from. She was from Washington, which is where I was from, but I flew her all the way to Vegas and bought her 2 seats because she was a big girl, and she appreciated that. She thought that was really quite sweet.
Well, that
But
was
we,
really quite sweet. So you just flew her there for a vacation, or that's like where you went to
yeah,
meet? Oh,
yeah, that's where we went to meet because I drove up from Arizona and of course flew her down and we met, spent a little bit of time together just to get to know one another, and
mhm.
we hit it off immediately.
Well, I didn't know that story, so that's really sweet. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so since you've been married, she's lost a lot of weight. Has that had any effect on your relationship?
No, I don't think so. I mean, she might think so, but it hasn't. No, I love the woman, the person.
Right.
The weight, the size is what attracted me, but it's the person inside that really is what makes any bond the greatest.
Okay, I get that. Um, uh, Back in the way back, they used to call guys that like bigger women chubby chasers.
Yeah.
And then it became like a BBW admirer or fat admirer. I don't even know if they use those terms anymore because I'm not out dating on the sites and looking at stuff like that. But did you ever have a term like that you called yourself, or were you just
No, I always called myself normal,
right?
and just that, when you're growing up, and all my siblings are like my size. I'm not a big guy. I'm kind of, well, I'm chunky now, but um, no, I always thought I had to have
Yeah.
I always thought I had to have a skinny girlfriend because that's what life had always said, but I was never satisfied, if you know what I mean. And there was one time when I played softball and baseball and stuff like that, so I was always really athletic. And at the end of one game, me and my buddies, we went to a bowling alley. Just happened to be, it was just down the street.
Mm-hmm.
And, we were having some, drinks and, I mean, I'm all grubby, but there was this nurse that came up to me and plucked me out of the crowd, if you would. And I was in my early 20s and she was 37. And she was a big, beautiful woman. And, she is the one that kind of turned me around, if you will.
Hmm.
That experience alone was enough to make me think that it was possible.
Now,
So
did your friends ever try to dissuade you from being with a big woman, or did they
no,
ever tease you or
no,
anything like that?
no, no, not even my family. No, they look at it as long as I'm happy. I mean, I'm a pretty
Right.
happy-go-lucky person, so I try to be. I just try to live life, live it well.
Well, Steve, you are way too normal for this interview. Let me just tell you, right?
Well, I try to be. I'm a little bit vanilla, Cheri.
What's your definition of amazing sex?
Um, oh, amazing sex. Oh, having my honey on top. That's very, very pleasurable. It's not like I like being smothered or anything, but I like it when she takes charge, if you will,
All right.
and just uses me, if you will, and I let her. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, sounds great. I just want to clarify that you and I have never had sex because
No,
I know people might wonder. So I just wanted to put that out there.
no,
Um,
I've given you lots of hugs.
that is true. We
Yeah,
have hugged a lot.
I mean, and
We've
when I
danced
first,
together. We have
yeah,
danced.
danced together,
Yeah.
yeah. And when I first met you, I think you were single. You hadn't met Dave yet, and
Mm-hmm.
um, and no, I was in lust with every big beautiful woman I saw at the dance. It was like amazing. That was a candy store that,
Yeah.
like I said, it's unimaginable.
Well, I always
Um,
used to say that, like when the room got really crowded, not that one room didn't get that crowded, but when you'd go to one of those dances and the room was crowded and you bump against people as you walk, it's like, well, no wonder why guys like this because it feels really good to bump up against us. I would even think that myself.
yeah, no,
Um,
or comfortable. We'll put it that
right,
way.
right.
Extremely
Okay.
comfortable.
Now I know you're a married man, and so you've probably done everything you want to do, but do you have any sexual bucket list item?
No, not really. I've lived long enough to where I think I've done every bucket list thing. I know that there's some newfangled things out there like swings or something like that, and but no, I'm like I said, I'm pretty vanilla. So
All right. I think we covered everything I wanted to get. I also talked to Daron. Do you know Daron?
yeah, yeah, I do.
Yeah, so I wanted to get a couple different perspectives on this. So you guys are going to be on the same episode. So,
Nice, nice.
um, who was your celebrity crush when you were younger?
Like Marilyn Monroe was
Oh,
like she was, well endowed and very beautiful.
right.
But I mean, and she was voluptuous, so I've always enjoyed voluptuousness.
All right. Okay. Well, I hope to see you guys soon. The
You
next time we
bet.
see you, I swear my husband and I will not be arguing and ruin the evening like we have
I
been the
don't
last couple times I saw you.
I
So,
don't I don't remember that. It's just every time I see you guys, it's always a pleasure. So
yeah, same here.
that's what it's all about is making and finding friends that care for you, that admire you, and you're very funny, and we enjoy. I've enjoyed watching you grow into this new field,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
and it's an experience. But you said you enjoy yourself, so it's what makes it even better. Is
Yeah.
that you get better and better and better every time we see you.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, we love you guys a lot. So, anyway, thank you. And
You
I
bet.
will let you know when this is coming out.
Right on. Well, thank you, Cheri. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right.